Good morning from Cameron Highlands. Today I'm heading out on a hitchhiking journey from Cameron Highlands to Taman Negara, the national park, which I think it's about 260 kilometers away. A straight shot with a car, I think should only take about 4 hours if there's no traffic. A bus takes about 6, but the bus was a little bit too expensive for my liking. It was 95 ringgit, so I decided I'm gonna try to hitchhike the journey. I've done a little bit of hitchhiking around Cameron Highlands, and I gotta say, it's not the easiest. It's taken a long time to get rides. I've heard from other people that it's really simple here, but most of the time me and other people I was hanging out with were trying it here. We had a pretty hard time getting people to pick us up. It doesn't really feel like it's that common amongst locals, so yeah, I guess we'll see how this journey goes. I'm getting a bit of a late start today. It is 10 a.m. I guess I need to get my thumb in the air and try to get my first ride. Well, not to be pessimistic already, but I am not having much luck. It's been about 25 minutes and not a hint of anybody that seems to want to give me a ride. So yeah, I am moving to a slightly different intersection, different part of the road. Maybe I'll have better luck here, hopefully. All right, it looks like this is gonna be my spot here because there's a little bit of a shoulder there. So if there is a car that's willing to stop, they can pull to the shoulder right there. Yeah, let's post up here and try to catch a ride. This definitely is not an ideal location because there's not a big pull-off area, but I was right at a main intersection in town and I was having absolutely no luck there. Sometimes you just gotta move to a new location and give it a go. Okay, we finally had some success. First ride, they brought me down to the town of Ringlet. From here, the road intersects to where it splits off towards Taman Negara. So yeah, about 12 kilometers down, roughly 248 more to go. A lot of the time when you're hitchhiking, it just takes breaking the ice for that first ride. That one took, I don't know, 40, almost 45 minutes to catch. And it's not like it brought me terribly far, but at least now I'm on this road for the next like 200 kilometers. And yeah, hoping we have some success here. I'm just walking right up to the intersection here, and then let's see how long it takes to get a second ride. Here we are at location number 2. This is the road we just came off of. This is the road that I'm gonna be on for the next 200 or so kilometers. It's not perfect because there's this truck sitting here that blocks cars' view of me, but hopefully they come around the corner, they can see me, and they still have a bit of room here to pull off if they decide to pick me up. Okay, that second ride was fantastic. It only took me about 10 minutes to catch that ride. It was a lovely older couple and they didn't speak in English, so unfortunately I couldn't chat with them throughout the ride, but I was with them for about an hour and 15 minutes. They drove me about 80 kilometers and just now they had to turn off on another street. So I jumped out here on the road that I need to continue on. Currently just walking to the other side of town. And then, yeah, once I get to the other side of town, I'll try to catch a ride. It's just easier if you go to, you know, where the main road is exiting town rather than here in town. People could be turning left, right, a bunch of directions that I do not need to go. So yeah, that second ride was much better and much easier to catch than the first one. Still a long ways to go, but feeling pretty good right now. Let's see, it is 12:30 right now. Sky is still looking decent, not looking too ominous yet. I would say I've walked far enough now that pretty much any car going this way is going to be heading out of town on the highway, but I need to find a little bit better spot for getting picked up at, as well as ideally somewhere in the shade, because in case it does take a little bit to get a ride, I would rather not be in the direct sun. It's pretty hot out here. I don't think this is a common sight for the area, you know, the lonely solo backpacker trying to hitch a ride, because every single car that is driving by, you know, turns and everyone stares and is definitely wondering why I'm here. Had a couple people on motorbikes say hi, ask where I'm from. Only a couple hundred more meters and then I'll drop my bag and see if we can't catch a ride. I can't say I'm at a perfect location. I'm basically at the end of someone's driveway here, but there's not a lot of pull-offs on this road. So we're gonna try this for now. Post up here for a little bit, get the thumb in the air, see if I can wave some people over, and, you know, just see what we can do. One thing that has been a little bit tricky here is, in general, I thought that the old thumb was a universal signal for hitchhiking, but I've kind of been told here that that's not the case. You kind of got to wave people over to let them know you want them to stop. So I've been kind of trying to mix of both. I can't say that one or the other seems to be the go-to method, but a lot of people, when they see the thumb in the air, they just either wave at you or give you a thumbs up, and they don't seem to know that I'm looking for a ride. So yeah, unfortunately I did not find any shade. It is very hot and toasty, but that's okay. Hopefully we're not waiting too long. All right, that was fantastic. It only took about 12 minutes to get that next ride, and I got another 35, 40 kilometers knocked out. This is where she dropped me off here, and this is the exact road I need to be on, so this is perfect. Drop my bag down here for a second so I hopefully don't get too sweaty. But yeah, I guess it's time to lock in and get a ride. She so kindly dropped me at the little covered spot there, but I kind of need to be on this side so that when cars come by here, if they see me, they have time to pull in and stop right here. There's a lady with her mom and her 2 kids. She was super sweet, offered to take me to lunch and stuff as well, but it's about 1:35 right now, and I still have a good, I don't know, 130 kilometers to go, so kind of need to keep moving for the sake of just getting there, because you never know when you're going to get the next ride. All right, just got out of my next ride. I got driven another, I don't know, 40 some kilometers by the nicest guy. I think he said he was like 70 or 75, and he gave me candy. He insisted on giving me this, like, I don't know, bread roll thing that he had. And now, yeah, I'm gonna get my next ride onward to Taman Negara. And as you can see, there's some fairly ominous looking rain clouds around there. Hopefully it does not take too long to catch this next ride, because I would really prefer to not get caught in a rainstorm, but hey, we shall see. All right, that was about as perfect as could be. I just got picked up by a Grab driver. He was just heading back into town to, go look for some rides, and he was kind enough to give me a ride for free, because I wasn't actually, ordering a ride or anything. He just offered to give me a ride in the direction he was going. So yeah, just had a nice free little Grab ride, which is fantastic. Also, it is absolutely beautiful out here. Managed to miss the rain pretty much entirely. Got a couple more cars coming, see if we can get them. Well, that was quite the interesting experience I just had. I gotta say, that's the first time I've ever had a hitchhiking ride that was actually questionable. And this one was quite questionable. The driver had a bag of rubber cement, which he was huffing the whole time. So he was very, very high. And you could tell, when he was huffing it, that his eyes would start to close. He was close to nodding off. When I first got in the car, he wasn't doing it the first 15 minutes. And then he picked up the bag and away he went. It wasn't until about 15 minutes into the ride that he started doing it. So at first I wasn't aware. And then as soon as he started doing it, I was like, oh yeah, this guy is not all there in his brain, because yeah, he's high on rubber cement. And you could tell that he was, he could nod off and crash. And yeah, that's not exactly ideal. So I told him I wanted to get out, and it took a few minutes, but he did let me out, and now I'm getting another ride. But yeah, all that to say, that's the first time that I've had anything like that happen while hitchhiking. Some questionable individuals that picked me up, and again, at first, it just seemed like they were a couple of young guys, about my age, that probably figured they worked out here at Taman Negara or something. But yeah, it turns out they're not the best guys to be getting a ride from. Thankfully, everything worked out okay. I jumped out, and the scenery out here could not be any better. It is absolutely beautiful on this ride. It is still about 40 minutes of a drive to get the rest of the way to Taman Negara. There's definitely a decent amount of cars passing. So far, no luck, but I think I'll get a ride pretty quickly. Well, dang, that could not have worked out any better. The Swedish family just picked me up. They had a super cute baby that was like staring at me the whole time. And then right after they picked me up, it started downpouring, which you can't see very well on here, but also where they were going to was literally like 300 meters away from where I'm staying. And it would appear that there is a covered walkway all the way to where I'm staying, which is absolutely fantastic. I lied. The covered walkway runs out over there, and my place is still a couple hundred meters that way, so I might get a little bit wet, but that's okay. It's funny how vastly different your rides can be when hitchhiking. One second you're with a sweet 70-year-old man that forces you to take his food with you so you don't get hungry. Next minute you're with some very questionable 20-something-year-old dude huffing rubber cement while driving and nearly crashing the car because he's high. And then next second, you're picked up by a super sweet Malay family with the cutest baby that is just, you know, mesmerized by the weird dude sitting in the back seat. That's me. I'm the weird dude in the back seat. Yeah, that was a really successful hitchhiking journey. Hopefully you can hear me right now because the rain is pounding down on this tin roof above. Oh, it's kind of letting up. I don't know. I would say that was a very successful hitchhiking journey today. It essentially took exactly 6 hours, which the bus right there is probably the bus from this morning. Had I booked a bus, it would have been 95 ringgit, and it took 6 hours anyways, and my journey took basically exactly 6 hours. And for the most part, I met some really sweet people, and it just worked out pretty flawlessly. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit pessimistic at the beginning. That first ride took 40 minutes, I think, for me to get. But from there, it was pretty seamless, you know, with the exception of Rubber Cement Man. This is that sweet buttery bread that guy gave me earlier. Let me tell you, this stuff slaps. It is delicious. It's just a nice little bread roll with a healthy layer of butter in there and a little bit of sugar sprinkled in there. So, yeah, cannot go wrong with that. Successful day today, successful hitchhike, successful escaping, you know, terrible driver dude, all the above. Quick little update for you. Got checked into the hotel. It is very, very nice. It's like basically like a hotel resort, but they also have a couple little dorm rooms. I'm staying in the dorm room, obviously. It had a bit of a sale, so it was 57 ringgit, and it includes like a full hotel buffet style breakfast. Also has a pool table, all that good stuff. Big hangout lobby area. I'm very excited to try the breakfast tomorrow morning.